Picture this: a glittering night in New York City where dreams are born and secrets are buried. The Grand Horizon Hotel glows under a velvet sky, its chandeliers casting a golden haze over the penthouse suite. Inside, a young woman stands by a window, her heart racing. Isabel Reed, barely 23, feels the world shift beneath her feet. A man's voice, low and magnetic, echoes in the dim light, his face blurred by shadows. Their eyes meet, a spark ignites, and then darkness. Isabel wakes alone, the memory of that night a haunting puzzle she cannot solve. Who was he? Why does her heart ache with a longing she cannot name? All she has is a fleeting image, his deep eyes, lingering in her mind. Fast forward 6 months. Isabel Reed steps out of a subway station, clutching a portfolio of fashion sketches. She is no stranger to struggle. Raised in New York's foster care system, she learned early that dreams come at a cost. But Isabel is a fighter. Her talent for design, honed in quiet corners of group homes, has landed her a chance at the impossible, an interview at Elite Designs, the crown jewel of America's fashion world. New York Fashion Week is weeks away, and Elite Designs is the place where stars are made. Isabel's sketches are her ticket to a new life, a way to leave the pain of her past behind. Yet, as she walks through Manhattan's bustling streets, her thoughts drift back to that night at the Grand Horizon. Something tells her it holds the key to everything. She arrives at Elite Designs, a sleek tower of glass and steel. The lobby hums with ambition, assistants darting between racks of couture gowns. Isabel smooths her simple black dress, feeling out of place among the polished crowd. She takes a deep breath, reminding herself why she is here. This is her shot to prove she belongs, to show the world what a girl from foster care can do. But as she steps into the elevator, her stomach twists. What if her past catches up with her? What if that night was a mistake she cannot escape? The elevator doors open, and Isabel walks into a boardroom that screams power. At the head of the table stands Daniel Pierce, the CEO of Elite Designs. 30 years old, with sharp features and an air of quiet intensity, he commands the room without effort. His eyes scan the candidates, and when they land on Isabel, her breath catches. Those eyes, she knows them. They are the same ones from that night, the ones that have haunted her dreams. Her mind races. Is it really him? Does he recognize her? Daniel's gaze lingers, a flicker of curiosity crossing his face, but he says nothing. Instead, he nods for her to present her portfolio, his voice cool and professional. Isabel's hands tremble as she opens her sketches, her voice steady despite the storm inside. She talks about her vision, designs that blend elegance with raw emotion, inspired by the resilience she found in foster care. The room listens, captivated, but Isabel barely notices. Her eyes keep drifting to Daniel. Does he feel it too, this unspoken connection? Or is she imagining things, clinging to a memory that might destroy her? When she finishes, Daniel's lips curve into a faint smile. He says her work shows promise, but his tone is guarded, like he is holding something back. Isabel leaves the room, her heart a tangle of hope and fear. As she waits for the elevator, a familiar voice cuts through the air. "Isabel Reed, is that really you?" She turns to see Rachel Hayes, her old friend from foster care, now a senior designer at Elite Designs. Rachel's smile is bright, but her eyes are cold, calculating. She hugs Isabel, her words dripping with false warmth. "It has been years," she says. "I never thought you would make it here." Isabel smiles back, remembering the nights they shared dreams in a cramped foster home. Rachel was her protector then, the one who stood up to bullies. But something feels off now, like a shadow has settled between them. Rachel's tone shifts, sharp and playful. "Welcome to the game, Isabel," she says, leaning closer. "But in this world, only one person wins." Before Isabel can respond, Rachel pulls out her phone, typing something with a smirk. Moments later, Isabel's phone buzzes. She glances at it and sees an Instagram post from Rachel. A photo of Elite Designs' office with a caption, New blood thinks she can steal the spotlight. Let's see how long she lasts. The post already has hundreds of likes, comments piling up from fashion insiders. Isabel's chest tightens. She looks at Rachel, who shrugs, her smile venomous. This is just the beginning, Rachel says, walking away. Back in her tiny Brooklyn apartment, Isabel sits on her bed, staring at her sketches. The weight of Rachel's words presses down on her. She thinks of Daniel, his familiar eyes, and wonders what he knows about that night. Did he feel the same spark she did? Or is he just another obstacle in her path? Her fingers trace the bracelet on her wrist, a silver chain with a small charm, the only gift from a family she never knew. It grounds her, reminds her who she is. She will not let Rachel or anyone else break her. But the questions keep coming. Why did Rachel turn against her? What does Daniel want from her? And most importantly, what happened that night at the Grand Horizon? One thing is clear. Isabel has stepped into a world of glamour and danger, where friends become enemies and secrets can ruin everything. Will she uncover the truth about Daniel Pierce and reclaim her place in the fashion world? Or will Rachel's betrayal destroy her dreams before they even begin? Stay with us to find out, because this is a story of love, revenge, and a woman who refuses to give up. Isabel Reed steps into the heart of Elite Designs, her portfolio tucked under her arm like a shield. The office buzzes with energy, phones ringing, designers sketching, and racks of shimmering fabrics rolling past. New York's skyline sparkles through floor-to-ceiling windows, a reminder of the stakes. This is her chance to break free from the shadows of her past, to prove a girl from foster care can shine in the cutthroat world of fashion. But the memory of Daniel Pierce's eyes, so familiar yet distant, lingers like a storm cloud. Was he really the man from that night at the Grand Horizon? And if he was, why does he act like she's a stranger? Her interview begins in a sleek conference room where Daniel Pierce sits at the head of a polished table. His presence is magnetic, his dark suit crisp, his voice calm but commanding. He flips through Isabel's sketches, his fingers pausing on a gown that blends soft curves with bold lines. "Your work has soul," he says, his gaze locking with hers for a moment too long. Isabel's heart skips. Does he feel it too? That unspoken pull from 6 months ago? She pushes the thought away, focusing on her pitch. These designs, she explains, are inspired by resilience, by finding beauty in hardship. They're personal, drawn from nights spent dreaming in foster homes, sketching to escape the loneliness. The panel nods, impressed, but Daniel's expression is unreadable. He assigns her to a trial project, a dress for Avery Quinn, the pop star headlining New York Fashion Week. It's a dream opportunity, but his final words carry a warning. "Don't let me down, Isabel." Back at her desk, Isabel dives into work, her pencil flying across paper. She sketches late into the night, the office emptying around her. Avery Quinn's dress needs to be iconic, a statement of strength and grace. Isabel pours her heart into every detail, a fitted bodice with hand-stitched embroidery, a flowing train that catches the light like a sunrise. She barely notices the hours passing, her focus unbreakable. But across the room, Rachel Hayes watches from her corner office, her eyes narrowing. Rachel, with her tailored blazer and perfect smile, is a star at Elite Designs, a senior designer who clawed her way up from nothing. She and Isabel were once inseparable, sharing secrets in a foster home where hope was scarce. Rachel taught Isabel how to stand tall, how to fight for scraps of kindness. But now, as Isabel's star rises, Rachel's warmth has turned to ice. Rachel isn't alone in her scheming. She has an ally, Megan Walsh, the creative director with a reputation for favoring loyalty over talent. Megan sits with Rachel at a trendy Manhattan cafe, sipping espresso as they plot. Isabel's sketches are good, Megan admits. Too good. They could outshine Rachel's latest collection, the one slated for Fashion Week. Rachel leans forward, her voice low. "We can't let her steal the spotlight," she says. Megan nods, pulling out her laptop. Elite Design's digital system stores every sketch, accessible to senior staff. Rachel's plan is simple but ruthless. She'll tweak Isabel's designs, just enough to claim them as her own, and Megan will back her up. It's a betrayal as sharp as a needle, and Isabel doesn't see it coming. The next morning, Isabel arrives to find her desk in chaos, papers scattered, her laptop open. Her sketches for Avery Quinn are gone, replaced by a notification on her screen. Design submitted for review. Her stomach drops. She rushes to Rachel's office where Rachel stands with Megan, holding a printed copy of the gown. It's Isabel's work, but the signature at the bottom reads Rachel Hayes. "You must be confused," Rachel says, her voice dripping with mock concern. "These are my ideas. I've been working on them for weeks." Isabel's protests are cut short when Megan steps in, her tone final. "Without proof, Isabel, you're just making noise." The room spins as Isabel realizes she's been outmaneuvered. She searches her laptop, but the original files are deleted, her backups erased. Desperate, Isabel turns to social media, hoping to clear her name. But Rachel has already struck. Her Instagram story shows the gown, captioned with a smug note. "Months of hard work paying off. Can't wait for Fashion Week." The post explodes, fashion bloggers praising Rachel's genius, while comments mock the new girl who thinks she can compete. Isabel's phone buzzes with notifications, each one a dagger. She confronts Rachel in the break room, her voice shaking. "We were friends, Rachel. We shared everything. Why are you doing this?" Rachel laughs, her eyes cold. "That was then, Isabel. This is survival. If you want to play in my world, you'd better learn the rules." The betrayal stings, but worse comes when Daniel calls Isabel to his office. His desk is covered with sketches, including the stolen gown. Rachel says, "You've been copying her," he says, his tone measured but firm. "Prove you're the real deal, Isabel. Design something new, something better, in 48 hours. If you can't, you're out." She nods, leaving his office with a fire in her chest. She won't let Rachel win, not like this. Alone in her apartment, Isabel stares at her blank sketch pad, the weight of the deadline crushing her. Her fingers brush the silver bracelet on her wrist, its small charm glinting in the lamplight. It's all she has from a family she never knew, a reminder of who she's fighting for. She thinks of Rachel, the girl who once braided her hair in foster care, who promised they'd conquer the world together. What changed her? Was it jealousy or something deeper? Isabel's mind drifts to Daniel, his voice echoing in her memory. "Don't let me down." She wonders if he's searching for answers too, if he's the key to unraveling that night at the Grand Horizon. Her phone buzzes, pulling her back. It's a text from an unknown number, a grainy photo of the Grand Horizon's lobby, time-stamped 6 months ago. Isabel's heart races. Someone knows about that night. Someone who wants her to dig deeper. She opens her laptop, searching for clues, and finds an article about Daniel Pierce. He was at the hotel for a gala that same night, his name linked to a mysterious guest. Could it be her? Before she can process it, her doorbell rings. She opens it to find a note slipped under the door, handwritten in sharp letters. "Back off, or you'll lose more than a dress." The threat chills her, but Isabel clenches her fist. Rachel thinks she can scare her away, but she's wrong. Isabel grabs her pencil, her resolve hardening. She'll design something unforgettable, something that screams her truth. But as she sketches, questions swirl. Can she trust Daniel, or is he part of Rachel's game? Who sent that photo, and what do they know about the Grand Horizon? One thing is certain, the battle for her dreams has just begun, and Isabel Reed is ready to fight. The clock is ticking for Isabel Reed, 48 hours to prove her worth or lose her shot at elite designs. Her Brooklyn apartment is a mess of coffee cups and crumpled sketches, the threat from that anonymous note still burning in her mind. "Back off," it said, but Isabel refuses to bend. She grips her pencil, pouring her anger into a new design, a gown that screams defiance with jagged lace and a blood-red hem. It's her way of shouting to Rachel Hayes, and anyone else watching, "I'm still here." But as she works, her thoughts keep drifting to Daniel Pierce. His doubt in her stings worse than Rachel's betrayal. Does he really believe she's a fraud? Or is he hiding something about that night at the Grand Horizon? At Elite Designs, the office hums with tension. New York Fashion Week looms, and Avery Quinn's team is demanding perfection. Isabel submits her new sketch, her hands shaking as she hands it to Megan Walsh, the creative director, with a smile as sharp as a blade. Megan glances at the design, her lips curling. "Bold," she says, "but we'll see if it's enough." Isabel catches Rachel watching from across the room, her phone in hand, no doubt crafting another Instagram post to bury her. Sure enough, by lunch, Rachel's story is live. A photo of her with Avery Quinn's stylist, captioned, "Big things coming for Fashion Week. Team Hayes never sleeps." The comments pile up, praising Rachel's hustle, while Isabel's name is nowhere to be found. It's a gut punch, but Isabel swallows her hurt and keeps moving. Then Rachel drops a bomb. She calls a team meeting, standing confidently beside Megan. Her voice is honey-sweet as she announces she's pregnant. And the father is none other than Daniel Pierce. Gasps ripple through the room. Isabel freezes, her heart plummeting. Daniel, who's been distant since the stolen design fiasco, steps forward, his face unreadable. He doesn't deny it, just nods stiffly and says he'll handle things privately. Rachel's eyes flick to Isabel, a smug glint in them. It's a power move, one that shifts the office dynamic overnight. Suddenly, Rachel is untouchable, the future mother of the CEO's child, while Isabel is just the new girl fighting for scraps. The news hits Isabel like a tidal wave. She retreats to the restroom, splashing cold water on her face, trying to breathe. Was everything she felt with Daniel a lie? That night at the Grand Horizon, the way his eyes held hers, was it all in her head? She thinks of Rachel, how they used to whisper about their futures in foster care, promising to lift each other up. Now Rachel's claws are out, and Isabel is hurt. But why? What turned her friend into this? As she stares into the mirror, her bracelet catches the light, its silver charm grounding her. She won't let Rachel rewrite her story. Not yet. Desperate to focus, Isabel throws herself into her work, sketching revisions for Avery Quinn's gown. But Rachel's influence is everywhere. Megan assigns Isabel grunt tasks, fetching fabric samples and sorting pins, while Rachel gets private meetings with top clients. Whispers follow Isabel through the office, colleagues calling her a wannabe who can't compete with Rachel's star power. Then, during a late-night work session, something goes horribly wrong. Isabel grabs a water bottle from the break room, takes a sip and collapses, her vision blurring. She wakes in a hospital bed, her throat raw, her right hand trembling uncontrollably. The doctor's face is grim. "You were poisoned," she says. "Someone spiked your drink with a chemical that could have killed you. Worse, the toxin damaged the nerves in your hand. You may never draw again." Isabel's world crumbles. Her hand, her lifeline to design, feels like a stranger's now. She stares at the ceiling, tears spilling down her cheeks. Fashion was her escape, her way out of foster care's pain. Without it, who is she? The doctor mentions something else, a blood test showing early signs of pregnancy. But Isabel barely hears her. She's too lost in grief, the weight of Rachel's cruelty crushing her. She doesn't know Rachel was behind it, that Megan slipped the poison into her bottle on Rachel's orders, a plan hatched in a dimly lit bar across town. Rachel's voice had been cold as she told Megan, "Isabel's getting too close to Daniel. She needs to go." But hope arrives in an unexpected form. Lucas Bennett, a legend in fashion, walks into Isabel's hospital room like he owns the place. His warm smile and casual jeans contrast with his global fame, the man whose designs grace Met Gala red carpets. Lucas heard about Isabel through a leaked sketch, one of her old pieces that surfaced online. He sits by her bed, his voice gentle but firm. "I know what it's like to lose your spark," he says. 3 years ago, a car accident took my right hand's strength. I thought I was done, but I learned to adapt. You can too, Isabel. There's a fire in your work, and I want to see it burn brighter. He invites her to join his Fashion Week competition, a showcase for rising stars, offering her a chance to reclaim her name. Isabel hesitates, her bandaged hand a reminder of her limits. How can she design when she can't even hold a pencil? Lucas doesn't push, just hands her a card with his number. Think about it, he says, but don't let fear win. As he leaves, he pauses, his eyes catching her bracelet. That's beautiful, he says, almost to himself. Where did you get it? Isabel touches the silver charm, her voice soft. It's all I have from my family, from before foster care. Lucas nods, a strange look crossing his face, like he's seen a ghost. He doesn't explain, just smiles and walks out, leaving Isabel with a flicker of curiosity. Back at Elite Designs, Rachel smells blood. She ramps up her attack, posting a TikTok video that goes viral, showing her sketching while calling out posers who fake their way into fashion. The comments are brutal, many naming Isabel as the fraud. Rachel's plan is working, Isabel's reputation is in tatters, and Daniel seems firmly in her corner. He meets Rachel privately, promising support for her supposed pregnancy, his voice heavy with duty. But Isabel notices something odd. During a meeting, Daniel mentions the Grand Horizon, saying he's reviewing old security footage for personal reasons. His eyes dart to Isabel, just for a second, and her pulse quickens. Is he looking for her? Does he know more than he's letting on? The hospital releases Isabel, but her hand is still weak, her dreams hanging by a thread. She sits in her apartment staring at Lucas's card. His words echo, "Don't let fear win." She thinks of foster care, how she survived by sheer will, sketching on scraps of paper when no one believed in her. Rachel wants her broken, but Isabel refuses to crumble. She grabs a pencil with her left hand, clumsy at first, and starts to draw. The lines are shaky, but they're hers. She calls Lucas, her voice steady. "I'm in," she says. "I'll compete." But danger is closer than she thinks. Rachel, furious that Isabel is still fighting, meets Megan in a shadowed corner of a Soho nightclub. "She's a problem," Rachel hisses, sliding an envelope of cash across the table. "Make sure she doesn't make it to Fashion Week." Megan pockets the money, her smile cold. Isabel, unaware, keeps sketching, her left hand growing steadier. She's determined to expose Rachel, to prove her designs are her own. But as she digs deeper, she finds a photo on her phone, sent from that same unknown number. It's her and Daniel at the Grand Horizon, blurry but unmistakable, taken that night 6 months ago. Someone's watching, someone who knows the truth. Isabel's fight is far from over. Rachel's lies are spreading, her hand may never heal, and Daniel's heart seems out of reach. Yet Lucas's faith in her, and that mysterious photo, keep her going. Can she rise above the poison, both literal and figurative, to reclaim her place? Or will Rachel's next move destroy her for good? One thing's for sure, in the world of fashion, trust is a luxury, and Isabel is learning that the hard way. New York City pulses with the chaos of Fashion Week, and Isabel Reed is fighting for her life, not just against the pain in her damaged hand, but against a world determined to crush her. Her tiny apartment is a battlefield of sketches and self-doubt, her left hand clumsy but stubborn as she traces lines for Lucas Bennett's competition. Every stroke is a rebellion, a refusal to let Rachel Hayes win. The silver bracelet on her wrist, her only tie to a family long lost, glints under the lamp, urging her forward. Isabel knows the stakes. If she fails now, her dreams, born in the hard years of foster care, will die. But with Rachel's lies spreading like wildfire and Daniel Pierce's trust slipping away, the odds feel impossible. At Elite Designs, the office is a pressure cooker. Designers scramble to perfect looks for Avery Quinn's Fashion Week show, while Rachel basks in her stolen glory. Her TikTok videos, polished and cruel, paint her as the star of the season, with captions like, "True talent always rises. Don't believe the fakes." The comments tear into Isabel, calling her a nobody who should quit. Rachel's ally, Megan Walsh, fuels the fire, praising Rachel's stolen gown in meetings while dismissing Isabel's work as amateur. Isabel grits her teeth, clutching her new sketches. They're bold, raw, a collection of dresses that weave strength into silk, inspired by the nights she survived foster care. She's poured her soul into them, and she won't let Rachel take this too. Lucas Bennett becomes her lifeline. He meets Isabel at a quiet coffee shop in Soho, away from Elite Design's venom. His faith in her is unshakable, his voice steady as he reviews her left-handed drafts. "These are special, Isabel," he says, his eyes warm. "They tell a story, your story." Lucas shares his own scars, how he rebuilt his career after losing his hand's precision. He pushes her to trust herself, to see her injury not as a cage, but a chance to create differently. Isabel hesitates, her confidence battered, but Lucas's belief lights a spark. She notices him staring at her bracelet again, his fingers twitching like he wants to say something. "What is it?" she asks, but he just shakes his head, promising to explain later. The moment lingers, a thread of mystery tying them closer. Back at the office, Isabel submits her collection to Lucas's team, her heart pounding. She's done it, created something new despite everything, but Rachel smells weakness. She hacks into Elite Design's digital system with Megan's access codes and copies Isabel's files. Rachel tweaks the designs, adding her own flourishes, and submits them under her name for Avery Quinn's show. She posts an Instagram live, spinning months of sleepless nights. "Fashion Week is mine," she says, winking at the camera. The video racks up thousands of views, bloggers calling Rachel a visionary, while Isabel's name fades further into the shadows. Isabel discovers the theft when she overhears Megan praising Rachel's submission. Her blood runs cold. She storms into Rachel's office, her voice shaking with fury. "Those are my designs, Rachel. You can't keep doing this." Rachel leans back, smirking. "Prove it, Isabel. No one believes a foster kid over me." Megan steps in, her tone icy. "You're causing a scene, Isabel. Back off, or you're out." Isabel's hands clench. Her damaged right hand throbs. She wants to scream, to fight, but she knows she needs evidence. She leaves, her mind racing. How can she stop Rachel before Fashion Week buries her for good? Lucas offers a glimmer of hope. He calls Isabel to his studio, a loft filled with fabric swatches and mood boards. He's been digging, he says, and found a digital trail. Timestamps showing Isabel's files were created before Rachel's copies. It's not enough yet, but it's a start. Lucas's eyes soften as he looks at her bracelet. "I had a sister," he says quietly. "She was taken from me in foster care. Your bracelet, it's like one I gave her." Isabel's breath catches. Could it be true? She pushes the thought aside, focusing on the competition. Lucas vows to help her expose Rachel at Fashion Week, but warns her to stay sharp. "Someone out there wants you gone," he says, his voice heavy. The night before the show, Isabel's world shatters again. She's working late at Elite Designs when Megan hands her a coffee, her smile too tight. Isabel drinks, then feels her head spin, her limbs heavy. She collapses, waking in a hospital bed, her stomach churning. The doctor's voice is grave. "You were poisoned again, Isabel. A stronger dose this time. We ran tests and you're pregnant, about 8 weeks." The words hit like a freight train. Pregnant. Isabel's mind reels, flashing to the grand horizon, to Daniel. Could it be his? She's too overwhelmed to process, her focus on survival. The doctor adds that her hand's damage is permanent, but therapy might help her left hand adapt. Isabel feels like she's drowning, her dreams and her body betrayed. Daniel visits her, his face etched with worry. He heard about the poisoning, but Rachel spun a story that Isabel was careless mixing meds. "I don't know what to believe," he says, his voice strained. "Rachel's carrying my child, Isabel. I have to stand by her." Isabel's heart breaks, but she sees a flicker of doubt in his eyes. She wants to tell him about the grand horizon, about the baby, but fear stops her. Instead, she nods, whispering, "Just find the truth, Daniel." He leaves, and Isabel clutches her bracelet, vowing to fight for her future, for her child. Fashion Week arrives, a glittering frenzy of cameras and couture. Isabel, still weak, attends Lucas's showcase, her left-handed collection ready. Rachel struts through the crowd, her stolen gown set for Avery Quinn's finale, but Lucas is prepared. On stage, he presents Isabel's work first, his voice booming. These designs are the heart of a true artist, Isabel read. He shows the digital timestamps proving Isabel's originals predated Rachel's copies. The audience murmurs, phones lighting up with live tweets. Avery Quinn in the front row stands, her voice clear. I saw Isabel's sketches months ago, she says. They're hers, not Rachel's. Rachel's face pales, her Instagram live crashing as viewers turn on her. Rachel snaps. She rushes backstage, cornering Isabel in a fury. You think you've won, she hisses. You're nothing, Isabel, just a foster kid who got lucky. Isabel stands tall, her voice steady. You're wrong, Rachel. I earned this. Rachel lunges, but security pulls her back, her career in ruins. Rachel's desperation boils over. That night, she meets her hired thug in a dive bar, sliding him a wad of cash. Isabel's still a threat, she says. Take her out, permanently. Hours later, Isabel leaves the Fashion Week after-party, her heart lighter. Lucas's praise echoes in her ears, and Avery Quinn wants to collaborate. But as she walks through a quiet alley, a van screeches to a halt. A man grabs her, dragging her inside. She wakes in a dusty warehouse, her wrists bound, Rachel standing over her with a knife. You took everything, Rachel snarls. Daniel, the spotlight, my future, now you'll pay. Isabel's eyes dart to her bracelet, its charm catching a sliver of light. She stays calm, her voice soft. We were friends, Rachel. Why this hate? Rachel laughs, bitter. You were always the golden one, Isabel, even in foster care. Everyone loved you, not me. Rachel's plan is twisted. She calls Daniel, demanding $5 million to let Isabel go, claiming it's her due after years of being overlooked. Daniel's voice crackles through the phone, tense but steady. Don't hurt her, Rachel, I'll pay. Isabel's heart aches, hearing his fear for her. She realizes he cares, maybe more than she knew. Rachel smirks, raising the knife, but Isabel stalls her, talking about their past, the nights they laughed together. You're better than this, Rachel, she says. Don't let jealousy define you. Outside, Daniel tracks Isabel's phone, its GPS pinging from Elite Design's employee app. Lucas is with him, his face grim as they guide police to the warehouse. Inside, Rachel's grip tightens, her voice shaking. You don't get to win, Isabel. The knife hovers, but sirens blare, doors crashing open. Daniel rushes in, tackling Rachel as the blade grazes Isabel's arm. Police cuff Rachel, her screams echoing as she's dragged away. Daniel unties Isabel, his hands trembling. I'm sorry, he whispers, pulling her close. I should have trusted you. In the ambulance, Isabel's head spins, her arm bandaged. The paramedic confirms she's stable but mentions her pregnancy, urging a full checkup. Isabel nods, overwhelmed. Daniel stays by her side, his eyes searching hers. I saw the Grand Horizon footage, he says. It was you that night, wasn't it? Isabel hesitates, then nods, tears falling. I didn't know how to tell you, she whispers. Daniel's face softens, guilt and love mixing. I've been a fool, he says. Rachel lied about everything, the baby, all of it. I want to make this right. Lucas arrives, his expression shifting from worry to joy. He holds up a folder, his voice breaking. I got the DNA results, Isabel. You're my sister. We were split up in foster care, but I never stopped looking. He points to her bracelet, pulling out a matching one from his pocket. These were our mothers, he says. Isabel sobs, hugging him, the weight of years lifting. She's not alone anymore. As they leave the hospital, Isabel feels her baby kick, a tiny promise of hope. Rachel's gone, her lies exposed, but the road ahead is daunting. Daniel takes her hand, his voice firm. We'll face this together, he says. Isabel looks at him, then at Lucas. Her family found at last. She's survived poison, theft, and a blade. But her greatest fight is just beginning. For love, for her child, and for her place in the world. What comes next? A chance to heal, or new battles in the spotlight? The dust has settled, but Isabel Reed's heart still races. New York City hums outside her hospital window, its skyline a reminder of how far she's come. Days ago, she was bound in a warehouse, Rachel Hayes's knife glinting with hate. Now she's free, her truth laid bare. Rachel is gone, arrested and disgraced, her lies about a fake pregnancy exposed by hospital records. Isabel's designs, once stolen, are now celebrated, her name whispered in Fashion Week's glowing aftermath. Yet, as she rests in her hospital bed, her bandaged arm aching, she feels the weight of new beginnings. A baby grows inside her, Daniel Pierce's child, a secret born from that fateful night at the Grand Horizon. And Lucas Bennett, her long-lost brother, sits by her side, his presence a miracle she never dared hope for. Isabel's recovery is slow, but her spirit is unbreakable. Lucas visits daily, bringing sketches and stories of their childhood, piecing together the years they lost in foster care. He shows her old photos, blurry images of a girl and boy clutching matching bracelets, their mother's last gift before they were torn apart. Isabel traces the silver charm on her wrist, tears falling as Lucas promises they'll never be separated again. He's more than a brother now, he's her champion, pushing her to reclaim her place at Elite Designs. "Your designs lit up Fashion Week," he says, his voice proud. "The world's waiting for more, Isabel." She nods, her left hand itching to draw, to prove she's more than her scars. Daniel Pierce is a constant presence, too, his guilt and love woven into every glance. He spends hours at the hospital, bringing her favorite coffee, apologizing for believing Rachel's lies. "I was blind, Isabel," he says one evening, his hand brushing hers. "I should have seen you, the real you, from the start." Isabel forgives him, her heart softening at his honesty. He tells her about the Grand Horizon, how he was at a gala, lost in a haze of stress and champagne, when he met a woman whose eyes stayed with him. "It was you," he says, his voice breaking. "I didn't know until I saw the footage, but I felt it even then." Isabel's breath catches, the memory of that night flooding back, not as a mystery now, but as the spark of something true. Elite Designs transforms in Rachel's absence. Megan Walsh, exposed as her accomplice, is quietly let go, and the office buzzes with new respect for Isabel. Her Fashion Week collection, a series of gowns that blend grit and grace, lands on Vogue's cover, the headline calling her the voice of a new generation. Avery Quinn, the pop star who wore her designs, posts a TikTok praising Isabel's talent, racking up millions of views. Fashion insiders flood her inbox, begging for collaborations. But Isabel takes her time. She's not chasing fame, she's building a legacy, one that honors the girl who sketched in foster care, dreaming of a better life. Weeks later, Isabel steps back into Elite Designs, her left hand steadier, her confidence reborn. Lucas announces her as the new lead designer, a role she's earned through fire and betrayal. The team applauds, and Daniel beams from the sidelines, his pride clear. But Isabel's biggest moment comes outside the office, on a crisp spring day in Central Park. She stands under a canopy of cherry blossoms, her white gown flowing. As Daniel waits at an altar by the lake, Lucas walks her down the aisle, his matching bracelet glinting, a symbol of their bond. The crowd is small, just close friends and Elite Designs colleagues, but the love in the air feels infinite. Daniel takes Isabel's hands, his vow simple but fierce. "I promise to stand by you," he says, "through every storm, every triumph. You're my home, Isabel, you and our child." Isabel's eyes shine, her voice steady as she replies, "I choose you, Daniel, for all the days ahead, because you saw me when I couldn't see myself." They exchange rings, their kiss sealing a future built on trust. Lucas wipes a tear, whispering to a friend, "She's always been a fighter." The reception spills onto the park's lawn, laughter and music mingling with the sunset's glow. Isabel dances with Daniel, then Lucas, her family complete at last. But Isabel's story doesn't end with a ring. She pours her heart into a new mission, a scholarship fund for kids in foster care, giving them art supplies and mentorship to chase their dreams. She visits a Brooklyn youth center, her baby bump just visible, and hands out sketch pads to wide-eyed teens. One girl, shy but curious, clutches a pencil like it's gold. Isabel kneels beside her, smiling. "Draw what you feel," she says. "It's your power, no one can take it away." The girl nods, and Isabel sees herself in her, a reminder of why she fought so hard. Her victory goes beyond the personal. Good Morning America invites Isabel for an interview, airing her story to millions. She sits under bright studio lights, her bracelets sparkling, and talks about resilience, about finding family in unexpected places. "My brother Lucas taught me to keep creating," she says, "and Daniel showed me love is worth the risk." The host asks about her past, and Isabel doesn't flinch. "Foster care made me strong," she says. "It's not where you start, it's where you choose to go." The audience applauds and social media erupts. Hashtags like Isabel Reed Inspires trending for days. Months later, Isabel and Daniel grace the cover of Harper's Bazaar, their smiles radiant beside a headline, "From Secrets to Stardom." Inside, Lucas joins them, his latest collection launching alongside Isabel's. The article calls them fashion's new dynasty, but for Isabel, it's simpler. She's found her place, not just in the industry, but in a family she built through courage. She stands in her studio, sketching a tiny dress for the baby due soon, her left hand fluid now, a testament to her strength. Daniel wraps an arm around her, whispering, "You've changed everything." Isabel laughs, kissing him softly. "We did this together," she says. This is Isabel Reed's story, a tale of betrayal and redemption, of love that survived lies and danger. She rose from foster care to fashion's peak, not because luck handed her a crown, but because she forged one herself. Her heart, scarred but whole, carried her through. And what about you, watching this? What dreams are you fighting for? What secrets are you ready to face? Share your story in the comments, because like Isabel, you're stronger than you know. Subscribe for more journeys of love and triumph, and let's keep chasing the light together. Isabel did, and look where it led her, to a life where every stitch tells a truth, and every day is a chance to begin again.